The penultimate round for the DSL Welding Services RSRA Super 2 E-Series on a Wednesday night, and the last time we will be going live on a Wednesday night for 2021. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching from all around the world. Matt Davis, Dean Reddit, bringing you the final Wednesday night motorsport of 2021, and we're coming to you live from Donnington National Circuit for the last super sprint of the season as well. And what a absolute cracking race we're going to have lined up for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, leading in to the ultimate round at the end of the year, and that's the Goodyear Autocare 1000. Brought to you down under at Bathurst. Dean Reddit, I bring you in now here, mate, and all roads of after here have led to the big one next week on Sunday, December 12th.
Mate, they have. It's been a nice build-up throughout the season, and both championships, our Super Series and our Super 2 championships, are well and truly alive, heading into what's going to be just a great spectacle to close out 2021. So we got a really interesting challenge for these guys here with their second Super Sprint. Super Series just had the normal sprint round last night, so it's a potential banana peel for any of these championship contenders here, trying to get through two races tonight without coming into any mischief and potentially hampering their points all. So it is a little bit of a nervy one, I'd say, for the guys at the top of the leaderboard, Matty.
Quite Turner, he's been a formidable force to reckon with all season long. He's skipped away with quite a number of victories with a quite substantial amount of margin, a few very, very close ones crawling across the line with the smell of an oily rag in the fuel tank. And the championships closer than probably what it's ever been before. We'll get those points up on the screen for you right now, ladies and gentlemen, so you can exactly see what we are talking about. Don't forget, as we go to next week to Bathurst, doesn't matter who they pair up with, they are going to be scoring points for themselves. And look at that, 1,322 points for Kai Turner. John Gillies at 1,312. So there's only 10 points in it, ladies and gentlemen, between the top two. And then we go back to Brian Cooper, who's still in championship contention if Kai Turner and John Gillies do crash out of Bathurst next week. Brian Cooper, 1,257 points. That's the top three right there, ladies and gentlemen, and that's where the battle's going to be. Stephen Banks, Alan Dawson, Tony Gafford, Timmy Mulford, Matt Whittaker, Stefan Lawrence, and Jonathan Bain rounding out the top 10 there. And Jonathan Bain will be departing from Chief Steward race in race control, and also from the Super 2E series after this year. Is still making an appearance here and there, ladies and gentlemen, but real life commitments are obviously going to come in the way coming into next year, and we wish him all the best, and along with Cheryl as well, who's currently on the mend to get better. So we're wishing them both the best as we scroll on through the points there, ladies and gentlemen. Bring in Dean Reddit again. Dean, the championship's really, really starting to tighten up. Kai Turner tonight, what does that mean for him? He's obviously got to have a clean race, but he's also got to stay out of trouble.
He does. He's got to look towards banking that point for pole position and also his clean race bonus, which is going to be really hard, having effectively two race starts for two different races tonight. And look, there's going to be nothing in it. All you got to do is just sort of get through to next week and obviously maximise the points possible. If not, finish somewhere at the pointy end and take this one down to the wire. So it's certainly not going to be won tonight, but it can be lost, the old cliche would say. So, and you know, much for John as well. John's been a really consistent driver all year, and he'll front up, and if he just does his usual performances tonight, he's in with every chance next week of taking it out. So such a long race next week, a 10-point margin is minimal to nothing really going into that round.
It definitely isn't. And John Gills at the moment currently sitting fourth in qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, so he's got a bit of work to do to be able to close up that gap to Kai Turner. We saw a big incident last night in the Super Series, ladies and gentlemen. We're hoping not for that to happen, but we are sort of hoping for that safety car. It might be a bit of a bit one-line race going on tonight, Donnington National. It's not the Not the greatest of tracks for overtakes, and we'll get to the track map for you, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see that and what's going to be exactly happening out on track tonight for the boys and girls. 3.15 kilometers in length tonight, 19 laps for race 1, 29 laps for race 2. That may seem like a lot for a super sprint, but they are going to be turning them in a minute for a lap. 151.2 kilometers in race distance, 60k an hour pit lane speed limit, 55.5 litres of fuel restriction, 1 stop for race 2. No tyres though. That's the big point right there. 2.62 litres of fuel burn a lap also as well, ladies and gentlemen. 1st of December 2021 is the race date. That's right, we are on the hunt to Christmas as well, ladies and gentlemen, so get the countdown happening. Race time for race start is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock for race 2, 27 degrees air temp, 28 degrees track temp, as well as a southwesterly wind direction of 15 kilometers an hour. And well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Dean Reddit, I'm sure you're seeing what I'm seeing here in the messages in front of me. Jeffrey Eddy decided to comment on the stream just to let everybody know what time it is exactly. It is over where he is racing from, and it's currently 4:25 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, in New York. So that's just goes to show what time Jeffrey Eddy has been waking up to race with us. But let's get to the grid. Row 1. Kai Turner and Matt Whittaker. Matt Whittaker with substantial or a superb qualifying. Row 2, Rod Hollis and John Gillies. Troy Allen and Stefan Lawrence out of row 3. Row 4, we'll see Stephen Martin and Brian Cooper. Row 5, Stephen Martin and Alan Dawson. Row 5, we'll see Timmy Mulford and Brian Cooper. Row 6, Jonathan Bain and Stephen Banks. And then we go over to row 7, Peter Kelly and Tony Gaffer will line up next to each other. Braden O'Loughlin and Jason Schooler will occupy row 8. Row 9 sees Tommy Foster and Jeffrey Edding. Then Andrew Johnson will round out the rear of the field. Brenton Nitke, obviously our safety car driver. And for something a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen, we've thrown the cat amongst the pigeons right now. And this has come to a surprise for us and a surprise to the drivers. It is a rolling start at Donnington National. So this gives us a little bit more time, Dean Reddit, just to have a bit of a chin wag about what's to play out tonight. Something different for the drivers. Rolling start, not a standing start. So expect the drivers to all get a good jump to start off with off the green light. But what does this mean coming into turn 1 as well with the rolling start?
Well, I'm not really sure. We're going to find out, aren't we? It is different. You know, this is iRacing, doing iRacing things. We're trying to produce a heat race format. It always wants to do this when you set a server up for heat racing. So, look, hopefully it might make it a bit cleaner, if anything, Matty, and we can get underway as the race.
Well, here we go. We're about to find out. Kai Turner gets the jump. Look at the jump that he got over Whittaker and John Gillies. John Gillies goes to force. Oh, that's Rod Hollis. My apologies. Goes to force the issue up the inside of Whittaker. Gets the move done. John Gillies has got nowhere to go. Him and Troy Allen. John Gillies around. John Gillies is around in the back. He's off the circuit. That's big championship implications right there. After the first corner on 1. Kai Turner, Rod Hollis, Matt Whittaker, Troy Allen, Stefan Lawrence, your top 5. But John Gillies, the big talking point already, has a big moment out of turn 1, comes across in front of traffic and out onto the grass, Dean Reddit. That's big news.
Well, that's not the start that John was looking for. It looked like it might have just been a little bit of rear wheel spin coming out of turn 1. I'm not sure. It didn't look like there was any contact there. I could be wrong. Get us flick to a replay now and try and get a bit of better understanding of what's going on here. So we've picked it up just after the exit of turn 1. It does look like it's a rear wheel spin. Might be able to go back a little further and try and pick up exactly what happened there. Yeah.
It was their contact between Allen and Gillies. They were side by side through turn 1. Oh, there may have been. There may have been contact.
Yeah, I think he's just got out. Cold tyres. Even if there was a little bit mid-corner, he seemed to spin a long way after they were close.
Stephen Martin, nowhere to go but into the side of the 738 of John Gillies.
He's going to get back underway and hopefully he's not going to be affected too much by that and he can start making his way forward. So once again, you know, you just got to keep your head, keep going. It's a short sprint race here now, and there's still a whole nother big long race to go at the end of this. So there's still plenty to play for here.
Oh, there definitely is plenty to play for, and John Gillies has really got to think of the championship points right now. He's got to try and play damage limitation right now. He's going to try and put pedal to the metal. He's got 2 races to do it, to make as many points as he possibly can. Race 1 has got to count, though, to get him as far the order as possible to start race 2 as the best possible chance. On board with Matt Whittaker as Kai Turner sets fastest lap of the race by a whole second faster than the field, ladies and gentlemen. 105.15 to Rod Hollis in a 106.14. And that is extraordinary pace coming out of the Middle Finger Racing stables there from Kai Turner. And just only the 3rd lap now, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be on for an absolute flyer of the race. He knows right now that he's got to put as much gap between him and Rod Hollis. But not only that, he's got to put as much of a gap between himself and John Gillies, Dean Reddit. So that championship lead that he does have, it doesn't go to waste.
Absolutely, he'd be well aware of what's happened there. So it's about trying to run an open air for him and stay out of any dramas. We just seen Rod a couple of corners ago pinch a brake, and now he's going to be coming under increased pressure from Matty Whittaker, who's been having a strong couple of rounds, and we've got John O'Bain on screen trying to make a move into turn 1. He's missing the bonnet, so if anything, that
boot actually.
Boot. Sorry, that makes these cars faster, doesn't it, Matty?
Well, less stuff holding them back in the wind, ain't that right, Dean Reddit?
Yeah.
It's I don't know how he's going through the corners at the pace he is, especially following the KFC entry there of Stephen Banks, but he's making it work, and he's got himself a good run on the 777 so far through turns 3, 4, and 5 they go. Very short track tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, minute 4s, minute 5s a lap. Kai Turner fastest lap of the race again with a minute 5 flat. That's qualifying pace right there. That is qualifying pace. He is on fire right now. 2.5 seconds lead over Rod Hollis right now, who's got Matt Whittaker, Troy Allen, Stefan Lawrence, Brian Cooper, Alan Dawson, Tim Mulford, Stephen Banks, Jonathan Bain, and Peter Kelly for company. They're all in this big train that you see right now, ladies and gentlemen. Look right out the front there of the picture quickly. That's Kai Turner through turn 1. There's a big incident at the back. That's Tommy Foster. Thomas Foster around in the chicane. That's 9 and 10, ladies and gentlemen. We don't go down to the Melbourne hairpin with the National Circuit. At the chicane that you veer left then right, we go right then left, and just locks the rear brakes. Around he goes, gasses it up. Find out what's going on what's coming towards him, and what a scary feeling that would be right now, Dean Reddit.
Yeah, he's just letting it roll backwards slowly as to sort of give the guys a bit of a chance to see what he's up to. So that's well managed in the end. He's just pinched, turned in with too much brake, and that's what sent the car around at the back there. But look, it's very, very easy to do. Big bump in the middle of that chicane as well, which got me on lap 1 last night. So a bit of a driver mistake, and Tommy's done something similar.
Lap 5 of 19, ladies and gentlemen. That's how quick they're turning by. First round, or first race of the Super Sprint tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Race 2, 29 laps. A little bit longer. We had 51 last night. And 51 was definitely a long race, as Bain has a big moment. Big moment there from Jonathan Bain. And we're starting to go a little bit processional right now, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's just following the leader, trying to sort out where they want to be out on track right now. Only, Dean Reddick, you'll be able to give us some insight for this one. I could only see 2 possible overtaking opportunities, obviously in the turns 1 and 9. Any more that might arise to fruition?
Not really, unfortunately. It's one of those tracks, even if you're in the lead and you make a slight mistake, you can position your car so no one can get around you. Trying to make moves here, you're really trying to set the car up over the course of a lap or two, as we've got Brian going very, very, very close, nearly had a move, but you're just trying to feel the mirrors of the car in front, and you try and make them think that you're going to put the car there at some point where they wouldn't expect it, and that takes them away from concentrating on their apexes and exits. So you're just trying to fox them in a way into making mistakes, and even then you still need it to be a substantial mistake to try and get the car through. So it is a chess game, this one. It's not a arge and barge and send it home. It's just a bit of a chess game, and you're going to try and fox these guys into making mistakes.
It's very technical. Not so much an easy track, but not also a hard track. It is technical as per se comes through turn 3, 4, 5, and 6. Especially up here to the back of 8 right now, where it's a big, long double apex. But it's probably a good time right now to quickly jump on board with Kai Turner as he's about to cross the start-finish line and crank up the volume, ladies and gentlemen. Let Kai Turner show you for a quick lap around the Donnington National. Kai Turner, ladies and gentlemen, for crank up the volume, taking you for a lap around the Donnington National. And what a quick lap that was, 1:05.39, ladies and gentlemen. That's how quick these guys are circulating tonight. The top 3 all in the minute 5s, Troy Allen, Brian Cooper, and therefore all in the minute 6s. And well, John Gill is back down further in the field. He's made his way from the dead last of the field all the way back to 14th so far. And he's just got himself caught up behind Stefan Lawrence at the moment, who's found himself back down in the field himself, back down in 13th. He was up inside, or just inside the top 5 spot, holding that down. He's now back down in 13th. He's dropped 7 positions from where he started. John Gill has dropped 10. Stephen Martin has dropped 9, the biggest mover so far of the night. Brian Cooper, he started in 10th. He's up in 5th position and going well. Jonathan Baines still circulating with no rear boot. He's just going to have to fight this one out, unfortunately. No pit stops, remember, ladies and gentlemen, in the first race. The second race, though, must be a compulsory pit stop. Dean Reddit, tyres tonight. Obviously, we know that they're not allowed to have the option of tyres for race 2. Race 1's going to hurt them enough as it is, but 29 laps on the same set of tyres, I mean, that's really going to play dividends for them.
That's going to be an interesting challenge. That's sort of pushing it to the limits, I would say, and something that we're not. I wouldn't say we haven't not done it before, but it'll certainly test these guys out in the second race. Probably means that unlike this race where we see Kai Turner just banking quali lap after quali lap, he's probably going to have to go through a bit of a management phase in that second race. You know, the tyre wear isn't super high, but it's 29 laps is a long way, so you're going to have to manage it a bit. He's really shot out to. He's approaching a 4-second lead here at the moment, so he's just pinned the ears back, and he's going to show no signs of slowing down in this one. And there's not much of a response coming from the field so far. I'm just sort of having a bit of a look through the top 5, and it was pretty close there with Matty Whittaker and Rod Hollis, but it's now drifted out to a second. So the guys are just finding their running order here at the moment. We've got this train on screen to just sort of show how the cars are spaced out.
Well, last night you guys had obviously 51 laps to contend with. Now we saw critical lap number was 31 to get home. That would have given you the 20 laps to get home. Now a lot of guys did run that 31 lap stint. I'm not sure what exactly your pit stop strategy was, but 29's on the limit there for tyres. 31 that's even further. So for indication, ladies and gentlemen, that's how long the tyres were lasting the gentleman last night. in the Super Series. On screen at the moment, though, with Brian Cooper currently circulating in 5th position. You've got the battle for 3rd there on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Whittaker, Alan Cooper, and Dawson all battling this one out. There's a bit of a gap between Alan Cooper and Dawson right now. Jeffrey Eddy, though, racing for the United States. It'll be about 20 to 5 now over there for him. And I don't know how he does it, Dean Reddit, but that early in the morning, I'm not even functioning. I'd have to have about 6 coffees, I think.
He might have one sat in his drinks holder next to him as he's cruising around there. But yeah, that's commitment. He's up ready for race start at 4:30 in the morning, so he'll probably finish this race, Matty, have a quick shower and duck off to work. Like, he's just seen him just go deep into the last
big moment.
He's taking a sip of his coffee, I think. But yeah, mate, he might have. He might even have time to duck off to work after this. So we'll go back to the front of the field. We're now on board with Matty Whittaker, and you've got Troy Allen in pursuit now, and Troy's sort of closing that gap down. So one of those guys that we know's got some pace, and he's now starting to threaten for that final spot on the podium for this race. He's managed to drop Brian Cooper off, and he's now 4 and 3 seconds behind. So look, there's still a couple of battles on here. We've we've got now about 7 to go. So there's a few areas to keep an eye out here, Matty.
Yeah, Alan Dawson is Timmy Mulford, Stephen Banks, Jonathan Bainford Company, Tony Gaffer, John Gillis and Stefan Lawrence. And Matt Whittaker obviously has Troy Allen, which is what you were talking about just then, Dean Reddit. Lap 13 of 19, ladies and gentlemen. Not long to go for race 1. And Troy, oh, there we go. We didn't see that in the background. Thank you very much, JP. What we didn't see, Dean Reddit, though, was Troy Allen overcooked going into the turn 1. So, had a bit of a moment right there. And dropped almost a second from what we're told. So, he's going to be on the fight back now to Matt Whittaker to try and claim that last spot. And where they finish, ladies and gentlemen, in race 1, they start race 2. Don't forget that.
He just had a big moment there again, walking it around that corner. What you don't see, and you know, when we might get a chance to have a look at more of these onboard shots, is just how much you need to cut the curbs in some of these areas of the track where you're going to have 2 wheels in the sand over the ripple strips, and if you have any amount of throttle input in when you do that, that's when you just see these cars really have big taily moments like we've seen on Troy just before. So it does require you to be quite aggressive with your corner cuts to maintain a good lap time around here. So it's plenty of potential.
Got to be careful as well, though, Dean Reddit. Got to be careful. There are slowdowns around Donnington. Oh no, Lachlan off the track. Braden O'Loughlin off the track, loops back around. I believe that was the final corner. Grab an NTS replay. Talk us through this one, Dean Reddit.
That's another moment. Big downhill approach into the last chicane here. So you just go over a hump and a rise there, and if you hit your brakes a little bit late, it's very easy to do just that. Just like Tommy Foster before, pinch the rears, and there's no way back after that. But a couple of these corners we're talking about before with the corner cuts, you want to see, I believe it is about turn 4 at the bottom of the hill. You've got to be aggressive over the corner cut. Otherwise, you almost run off track on exit. And that was Braden going through that corner I was talking about right there, and he nearly ran out of track because he didn't cut the curb. But then, if you stick your 2 wheels into the sand and you keep too much throttle on, you'll spin to the inside of the track. So that probably car's nursing quite a bit of damage that we might have missed from the previous incident. I think it's it.
738 of John Gillies and Tony Gaffer just in front of him, supporting a little bit of the same damage as well. That's not going to be helping the aeros too much, and I think that's why John Gillies is having such a hard time right now, trying to make his way back through the field.
He's got Stephen Lawrence for company as well.
Yeah, so he's on the defence as well, Dean Reddit. He's got his work cut out for him. He's got to try and get around another one of the best defenders in the Super 2E series, as well as trying to fend off Stefan Lawrence, who's a great attacker also. So John Gillies has got his work cut out for him right now in race 1. He's still got the second race, 29 laps to go ahead of him around the Donnington National, and all these rounds have led to here the final sprint, the final super sprint of the season, ladies and gentlemen. Then we go to the final endurance, and it's the big endurance, 6 hours of racing. And what a broadcast we have lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday night qualifying. As Julie's up the inside of Gaffer. No! Oh, John Gillis goes for the move on Tony Gaffer and can't get it done and forces himself into an error. Not the night that John wants. And it's all going wrong for him.
We've got Brian Cooper's dropped down a couple of positions. He's now back in 9th place and on the back of John O'Bain. He was up as high as 5th. So there's a bit going on now. There's a few cars swapping positions. You make a mistake here and you get stuck on the dirty line. If you're in a train of cars, that sometimes can mean you lose 3-4 spots. We've seen that with Brian Borg early in the race last night. So it doesn't take a whole lot to drop a big chunk of positions.
No,
John,
it definitely doesn't.
Yeah, John was doing all right. We've got Brian now having a look down the inside into the last turn. Really tough to get it pulled up.
Oh! And obviously loves a curb hop, that tank SRT entry. Loves a good curb hop.
Yeah, he needed to take all that curb so that he didn't hit the door of Jono.
Donnington Park just runs wide. Oh!
Yeah, no drive on it. So,
This is a good little battle for him right now. Jonathan Bain, work cut out for him right now. No rear aerodynamics. Brian Cooper has got the straightest car in the field right now and putting immense pressure on Jonathan Bain. And this goes to show how much that rear aero really does play into effect. Dean Reddit, Jonathan Bain just gets pushed wide just a little bit. Not enough up the inside there for Brian Cooper right now. Jonathan Bain goes defensive into 7. Brian Cooper looking to 8. He's trying to. He wants to. He's going to have to try turn 9 again. He's going to have to try the chicane. Can he get into the slipstream? Lap 18 of 19. Nowhere near close enough right now. Lap 18 of 19, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost at the end of the race. For race 1. And we get drivers in the top 3 for a quick, very, very quick interview. And then we head off into race 2. 29 laps on the same set of tyres. That's going to be absolute madhouse, I believe. Cars are going to be slipping and sliding everywhere. The drivers are going to have to try and manage this like no tomorrow. And then it's all eyes forward to the big dance. 1,000 kilometres, 6-hour broadcast, qualifying on the Tuesday night, the top 10 shootout on the Saturday. And then the big 161 laps on the Sunday. Dean Reddit. And just got a few questions to answer here from the viewers as well, Dean Reddit. And I might let you take the reins on this one.
Well, a few comments coming in. I'm just trying to pick up what
Can Matt Whittaker snag a podium tonight? He's been knocking on the door recently.
I think, you know what, I think he can. He's going to get the. He's going to. Well, we're going to run the finishing version for the starting grid on the second race tonight. So not another reverse grid. So look, he's looking good here at the moment for a podium finish in race 1, and he's going to set himself up with a chance for race 2. So he's been really strong the last couple of weeks. It's been a bit of misfortune, or that's really prevented him from getting there so far this season. So he's definitely a driver that's got the pace and the ability late in the season to get up there. Been really, I've come across him a few times midweek in practice sessions, and you know he's been on the money from really early on in the week. So he's putting a bit of work in as well.
Well, as we are sidetracked there, talking about Matt Whittaker, ladies and gentlemen, Kai Turner takes the win for race 1. Ron Hollis comes across in second. Matt Whittaker takes out his first podium of the season with Troy Allen and David Kirby as well. All I want for Christmas is for iRacing to nerve the cars when missing the rear wing. So do I, David. So do I. I think we all do right now. Troy Allen in 4th, Alan Dawson in 5th, ladies and gentlemen. Timmy Mulford, Stephen Banks, Jonathan Bain, Brian Cooper, Peter Kelly rounding out the top 10. We'll see Kai Turner, Rod Hollis, Matt Whittaker join us in the commentary booth very, very shortly. Hopefully in the next few seconds as they complete their cool-down lap right now.
Yes, so it's a pretty comprehensive win again there from Kai Turner. So look, he's just consolidated. He's really made John pay for that early mistake in that race. John's just got to recover and pick it up and start moving forward in this second race. But
John Gill is 14th position, Dean Reddit. Unofficial results coming for you, ladies and gentlemen, up on your screen. And look at that, 5.2 seconds ahead of Rod Hollis. Kai Turner takes the win. Rod Hollis in second, Matt Whittaker in third, Troy Allen in fourth, and Alan Dawson rounding out the top five. Tim Mulford, Stephen Banks, Jonathan Bain, Brian Cooper, Peter Kelly rounds out your top 10. And there's 6 Holdens to the 4 Fords tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Schooler, Stefan Lawrence, Tony Gaffett, John Gillies after that unfortunate start. Stephen Martin, Brandon O'Loughlin, Jeffrey Eddy, Tommy Foster, and Andrew Johnson finishing 1 lap down after race 1. Where you see those guys finish, ladies and gentlemen, that's where they're going to be starting for race 2. Just waiting for our top 3 to come into the commentary booth, ask a few questions about the race. Even though we have as many questions as we can possibly have lined up for them, we've got to let them go. They've got to get in a couple minutes of practice before the next race, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Whittaker joining us in the booth, along with Kai Turner and also Rod Hollis, who's not too far away. Matt Whittaker, may as well start with you, mate. Big congratulations on a podium to start off race 1 and start off the night for the Super Sprint. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, pretty stoked, mate. It's awesome. Wetting.
Mate, quick insight about race 1 before we let you go for race 2. Obviously, there's a little bit of prep to go for 29 laps on the same set of tyres. How did the tyres pull up for you after 19 laps, and how was the efforts of Troy Allen through the end of the race there?
Yeah, Troy was putting a lot of pressure on. It was just trying to keep it clean and not slide around because, by the end of that 19 laps, it was just getting real slippery. So I was just, trying to hit the braking markers and keep it nice and smooth, and it paid off. So it was good. Good result.
Well, mate, Godspeed for race 2. And hope to see you back here in the commentary booth, I believe, for the first time this season as well, Dean Reddit. So,
yes, it is. Yeah, thanks, guys.
There we go. Big congratulations to Matt Whittaker, ladies and gentlemen. Stepping up from the Gentleman Sim Racing Club into the RSRA, taking out the first podium. Godspeed, mate, and hopefully see you back after the end of race 2.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
Rod Hollis, mate. You're, like I said last week, you're a regular up here, and tonight's no different. Unfortunate news for your teammate John, though. Bit of insight to your race, mate. Congratulations on P2 for race 1.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to focus on getting a good start on that rolling start. Not at all used to them. So I knew coming out of that final chicane, I had to try and keep with Kai. And yeah, once he went, I had to pedal to the floor and just eyes forward from there, basically.
Mate, it caught us out. Everybody, I believe, it caught out for that rolling start, mate. And it's a little bit different. Excited for race 2. 29 laps, same set of tyres. It's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. I have done a bit of practice with the really long stints on the tyres, so hopefully it pays off. Only time will tell.
Well, mate, Godspeed for race 2. Hopefully see you back up here at the end of the night, no doubt. Roderick Hollis, ladies and gentlemen. And moving on to the race 1 winner tonight. Kai Turner, mate. Yet again, another victory in the books for you. And it's looks like you're just going to be the unstoppable man leading up to for the final Wednesday night motorsport.
Yeah, it's just been a week at a time kind of thing at the last couple of weeks, but we went with a different direction with the car over the last 6 weeks, and it's starting to pay off. So starting to get a handle on the car, and can't wait for the next race in Bathurst, of course.
Mate, the rolling start obviously caught a few people out. Unlike yourself, though, you had clear eyes at the front of the field. You had control of the field. What was the aim right there?
Yeah, it was just to get a clean start. As you said, we don't do rolling starts, so it was just a matter of waiting for the safety car to go, and it was down the straight, so you couldn't really. There was no strategy in it really because the safety car was on the straight. So as soon as he went in, I just pretty much went a couple of seconds after that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kai Turner, race 1 winner. Mate, hope to see you back here. Well, no doubt we'll see you back here for hopefully the round in, providing you don't go off track or go for an off track excursion and decide to mow the grass for the everybody out at Donnington tonight. But Godspeed for race 2, mate, and hopefully see you back here.
Cheers, mate. Touch wood.
Dean Reddit, race 1 points. They're coming up for us. Let's have a look at these. I might actually, I'll hand the reins. I've had a bit of a stint there. Dean Reddit, I'll let you run through the points tonight for a change.
Oh, yes. Well, look, obviously being a split race, we go half points in each race, and Kai Turner's now, he's picked up the 1 bonus point for his pole position and add that on to his 75. He's got his 76 points there. Rod Hollis in second, Matty Whittaker third, Troy Allen fourth, Alan Dawson fifth, Timmy Mulford sixth, Stephen Banks seventh, John O'Bain in home in eighth, Brian Cooper ninth, and Peter Kelly 10th. Second page now, Jason Schooler 11th, Stefan Lawrence 12th, Tony Gaffer 13th, John Gillies, tough story that one, down in 14th, Stephen Martin 15th, Braden O'Loughlin 16th, Jeffrey Eddy 17th, Thomas Foster 18th, and Andrew Johnson in 19th and on 57 points. So, look, that's probably, I just missed John Gillies' total there, just trying to do some quick maths in my head, but he's probably lost out about 20 points there on Kai. So
yeah, it's going to be about 20 points, I'm going to say, Dean Reddit.
So that's it's certainly not the end of the world when we've got double points on offer at Bathurst. So it's going to be 4 points for a position at Bathurst. So that's quick maths is probably around about 4, 6, 7 or 8 positions on track, Matty. So look, that's all that's in it still at this point, and yeah, and we'll see now with the updated championship point schedule coming up here, just sort of what the margin is after that result.
Oh, look at that. You were right. It was about 20 points, and it's 24 points to be precise there, Dean Reddit. And Kai Turner skips away with an extra few points up his sleeve leading into race 2. And that's unofficial as well, ladies and gentlemen. There's still clean races to go. There's also all the podiums and everything to line up as well. Brian Cooper in 3rd position, Stephen Banks in 4th, Alan Dawson rounding out the top 5, and from there on, ladies and gentlemen, there are a little bit out of contention, if I must say. Tony Gaffer, Tim Mulford, Matt Whittaker, Stefan Lawrence, and Jonathan Bain rounding out the top 10. And right now, it's the championship for the minor places right now. Dean Reddit, Stephen Martin, Peter Kelly, Rod Hollis, Thomas Foster, Andrew Johnson, Jason Schooler, Robert Broad, Will Yesberg, Braden O'Loughlin, and the American Jeffrey Eddy rounding out the top 20 there. We'll let those cycle on through, ladies and gentlemen, as the boys continue to practice on in the background for race 2 tonight. I'm excited for race 2. This is going to be very, very interesting for me, Dean Reddit. As you said, 29 laps. It's going to be the breaking point for tyres. They plateau after 8 laps, I'm going to say. You'll be able to correct me on that one in a second. But after 8 laps or so, they're going to plateau. And then they've got to hold that for another 20 laps, as well as deal with them cooling down during their pit stop for fuel. That's going to be a quick splash and dash by the looks of it as well. And coming into a cold track as well, it may work for them a little bit. They're going to be able to keep tyre temps down just that little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. The track's going to lend itself to some pretty quick times, but one of those things I noticed over the course of the week is when you're doing these double stints on your tyres is if you have a moment early in the race, say a big lock up, you drag one of those tyres, the drop off becomes quicker at the back end. You know, from laps 20 to 29, you'll start to see those cars that have had those big errors early in the race will start to suffer on the tyre strategy. So, yep, there will be a little bit to play out there, and Kai's been very, very strong again tonight, but this little element of strategy might come in and might give us a little bit of might give him a different approach to the start of the race for sure, and then and see if we can open the door to get the rest of these drivers in contention. So looking, Matty Whittaker had a nice run. We were talking there at the end of the race, coming home in 3rd. He did qualify 2nd on the front row, so he lost out at the start there. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can get that position back off the start in race 2.
It's going to be very interesting. I mean, we've been waiting for Matt Whittaker to to come up throughout the season. And as I mentioned earlier, ladies and gentlemen, he's made the jump from Gentleman Sim Racing Club into the RSRA. And we've been seeing him knocking on the door every week now for, I'd say, at least 3-4 weeks, Dean Reddit, of the podium. And he's finally snagged himself a third position tonight for race 1. If he can keep himself in third, have another clean race, even get up into second, he could be on here for the best result he's had all season for a round. As the quick flash in picture there, ladies and gentlemen, that signifies to us that we're up for another rolling start. Starting off the back of turn 8 here, we've got Kai Turner and Rod Hollis out of row 1. Matt Whittaker, Troy Allen out of row 2. Alan Dawson, Timmy Mulford out of row 3. Row 4 will see Stephen Banks and Jonathan Bain line up next to each other. Brian Cooper and Peter Kelly occupy row 5. Jason Schooler, Stefan Lawrence, row 6. Moving on down the field, Tony Gaffer and John Gill is the unfortunate man out of row 7. Row 8, we'll see Stephen Martin, Braden O'Loughlin. Row 9, Jeffrey Eddy and Thomas Foster. And then Andrew Johnson bringing up the rear of the field again with obviously Brenton Nitschke, our safety car driver. And if you're wondering why the safety car looks a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen, you see the big print on the bonnet right there. It signifies iRacing. That's the iRacing safety car giving us a rolling start tonight for race 2. And the headlights are already on. Dean Reddit, this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on Johnny Gillies here at the start of the race. I'm expecting a big march from him where possible. It is difficult, but we've got to expect a response, I think, from him after race 1. He won't put it all on the line. He's too smart for that, but he's got too much pace to be down there. So there's one to keep an eye on.
He's got to have a good race here. He's got to make up the championship points right now. That's 24 points at the moment. Can he make and close that gap up just a little bit more to give him some form of an opportunity going into Bathurst next week? Down into the chicane they come for the second rolling start tonight. Second rolling start of the season. Safety car peels into the pits. Kai Turner off pole position, gets a good jump over Rod Hollis. They're underway racing for race 2, the Donnington National on Wednesday Night Motorsport. Matt Whittaker doesn't get a great jump to attack Rod Hollis. Rod Hollis, he's going to go with Kai Turner right now and put the pressure on him on the early stages. Through turn 2 they go. Down the hill for the first time. Kai Turner in the lead with Rod Hollis and Matt Whittaker just behind. All single file through this section of the track. Up into turn 7 at the top of the hill. No incidences thus far. John Gillies loses a spot to Stephen Martin though early on. That's not going to be good for him in the charge back that he wants. Rod Hollis though won't let Kai Turner jump this time round. He knows he can't let him get away. He wants the blood. He wants to get around and he wants to taste what leading the race is going to feel like. Can he get it done? Through the final corner they come down the main straight. That's lap 1 in the books. Lap 2 is underway.
Yeah, Rod knows his best chance to get past here is right at the start of the race. You obviously listened to what Kai had to say about the safety car restart to start the race off, and he didn't give him an inch. He was right alongside him, expecting him to ping the throttle as soon as the car went into pit, or the safety car went into pit lane. So he's going to look to be super aggressive here and put Kai under as much pressure as possible and not give him a chance to get into rhythm. So
look who's coming with him though. Dean Reddit, Matt Whittaker. He doesn't want to let these two get away. Look at that. Sector 1, 18.5. Rod Hollis, only 300ths of a second away from Kai Turner. Or 300 slower. 600 slower in that sector, sector 2. So Rod Hollis really on the pace right now. And Matt Whittaker just trying to stay with him, and Troy Allen's going as well. Tim Mulford's dropped off the pack. He's in the top 5.
with a big pack
It is
going on.
rattled down the back. Brian Cooper up the inside of Jason Schooler through the chicane. Bit of a switchback. Big moment there by Peter Kelly. He's going to drop a few positions from that coming onto the main straight. Big moment from Peter Kelly. Try and get a replay of that one, but Brian Cooper through on Jason Schooler. And John Gillies, the man that we're waiting for. He's made no avail so far. He's still down in 15th position. Can't find a way through.
You get cars from 10th down to 16th. They're all separated by two to 3 tenths between each car. So he's stuck in that log jam, and he just probably got negatively affected there by that big moment coming out of the last corner. So he's had to check up. Look, yep, he's gonna be frustrated. He's gonna need to keep pushing forward, keep going. But you know, Rod, he's given it everything to Kai here. They're no strangers to one another. They've had a couple of big battles throughout the season. And Kai's just caught a fair bit of
Kai Turner and Rod Hollis. Kai Turner had a mistake coming onto the straight. Popped the big curb up. Rod Hollis got too excited on the rear wheels. Let's get a replay of this. Look at this. Kai Turner doesn't get the turn in. Has a big curb hop. Unsettles the car. Rod Hollis making ground and knew it. And then runs too wide onto the grass. Doesn't lift off the throttle enough.
Oh, no.
And a massive tank slapper sends him around. That hands Matt Whittaker second position so far. But Rod Hollis buried in 8th.
Oh, there's millimeters in that. He just, that's all it was. He just went a couple of millimeters too wide and lost traction there on exit. He had the move done in his mind. He was going to take him into turn 1, but oh, that was just a game of millimeters. And now Matty Whittaker's back within, he's under 2 seconds, and let's see if he can take it to Kai. But big let off for Kai Turner because he had a right moment there on the exit. But Stefan Lawrence is on the back of Jason Schooler here coming back out of that last chicane. So this is this train of cars we were talking about before. They're all separated by
big train. That's a big train of cars, Dean Reddit. Oh, 3-1 into turn 1. Someone's not going to work. Stefan Lawrence gets sandwiched by the 2 KFC entries of Stephen Martin and Jason Schooler. Race control are going to have a look at that one. And it might be the first time we see race control give out a drive-through penalty tonight. Race 1 was clean, ladies and gentlemen. No safety car, no drive-through. Tonight might be a little different in race 2 as they race off into the sunset. Right now, Tony Gaffer in pursuit of the 2 KFC entries. He's got Peter Kelly for hot pursuit. John Gillies now up into 13th. He's made some ground finally. Brian Cooper. Something's happened to Brian Cooper. He's buried down in 15th.
Probably some evasive action going on. Something we haven't touched on so far, Matty, that might be crucial, especially for these guys that are buried now down in the pack, as we get a replay of Brian Cooper. That's Jason Schooler a little bit loose. And I thought he was going to come across. Brian's missed the turn in there on turn.
Turned in way too late on that one.
Yeah. He's just tried to make the move around the outside of Jason Schooler and missed his break point. Something we just haven't talked about too much is your pit strategy here for the second race. We talk about tyres and how they're going to last 29 laps. When these guys choose to take their pit stop, especially these guys that are buried in the train, it's going to be crucial to them getting some points out of this race. By that I mean, if I'm Brian Cooper and I'm John Gillies, I'm looking to go as soon as possible. Get it in there.
I'd be going now.
Yeah,
I'd almost be going now. I believe if they pit now, I believe they can get home. I haven't actually crunched the fuel numbers tonight, Dean Reddit, but
if it's the same tank size as
top of my head,
21 laps plus a cool down lap, that's what you get out. If it's the same tank size, so you're looking at
lap 10.
Yeah, I reckon end of lap 9 you can get it done. So,
well, if you want to go hell for leather, I'd say if you want to go hell for leather on your out lap and try and make some positions in the clean air, I'd definitely probably say lap 10 there, Dean Reddit, and that gives you just that little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, I'm going as soon as I possibly can, Matty.
Yep, definitely.
And if he sat there and he's had to be off throttle for a lot of this, he could even go earlier. So that's going to be crucial to their race. Look for them to deploy that strategy, where the guys at the front are probably going to go the opposite. They're going to go as long as possible because they've got the clean track. So there's going to be some crucial calls to be made here in terms of getting John some positions and getting Brian some positions back.
Yeah, it's watch for the pit strategy, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep you up to date on that one as they come in. We're only about 1 lap away from when they can pit and make it home. 2 laps if they want to be safe, complete the cooldown lap and go for hell for leather. They may have been looking after their tyres up to this stage. It doesn't look like it with the times that they're posting up right now in the 106s.
Yeah,
Kai Turner, Rod Hollis, and Braden O'Loughlin only one in the 105s at the moment, and Brian Cooper 106 flat. So Jonathan Bain having a good look. He's up in 5th position right now. He's having a look up on the inside of Timmy Mulford. This could be Jonathan Bain's best finish of the season as well, if he can get round Tim Mulford. He's got a full car this time, Dean Reddit. He's got the wing, he's got the front end, and he's looking racy.
He is looking quite pacey here tonight, so it's good to see Jono having some success. He's got a tough mission ahead of him getting around Timmy. We've covered that topic quite a lot so far this season. Timmy.
Oh, we certainly have with Tim Mulford.
Yeah, but we get these guys now. We at this point of the season we know them quite well. We feel like we know them quite well. As Jono has a little look just to try and put Timmy off his game there. We feel like we pick up on their strengths and their weaknesses. So. And we know Timmy, he relishes having cars behind him. So
we can almost picture what they look like right now in the sim as they're attacking this as well, Dean Reddit. That's how well we've come to know these drivers over the course of year 30. I believe if the round served me correct, Dean Reddit, and if my memory serves me correct as well, 39 times we have been live on the airs of Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. There's also across Facebook with the SimShed Broadcasting and the RSRA. So 39 times we've been live this year. It's been one hell of a year, one hell of a ride. Doing Reddit, you've only come in about, I'd almost say halfway, almost through the season, and jumped in the broadcast with me and done an absolutely superb job. And looking forward to coming back next season and doing it full time again.
Oh, look, yeah. If things stay the way they are, mate, yeah, for sure, we'll come back and do it all again. So, and it's good to get in and cover these guys on a Wednesday night. But, you know, it's a watch this space for next season. We don't know whether the schedule's going to stay the same or we're going to get a few extra things to participate in or call. So, we've got Stefan Lawrence. Looks like he's coming to pit, the first one to pit on straight.
We've just got a drive-through happening as well, Dean Reddit. The 97 of Braden O'Loughlin drive through the contact on the 119 lap 7. That was on Tommy Foster on lap 7. So Braden O'Loughlin coming for a drive-through. That's going to be his night done and dusted. He's not going to be recovering from that at all, especially once he covers off his own pit stop. Stefan Lawrence, the first of the pit stops, Dean Reddit, as you were mentioning. That's a good call from him. John Gillies has to answer to this. He's in 12th currently. If he wants to find himself some clean track, he needs to pit now. Rod Hollis, early on.
Yeah, he's got to go now. We've got to get...
Lewis has stayed out, so different strategies. This is odd here, Dean Reddit. Rod Hollis came in with his John Gillies teammate, and John didn't come in, so that's odd. Peter Kelly, Tony Gaffer, Stephen Martin, they're both in the pits as well, and making their first pit stops. Only 4 so far out of the entire field, ladies and gentlemen, have come in for the first pit stops.
He might go. He's going to go the full reverse now and just bank that. Of course, these guys, they're all going to have to take on the same amount of fuel, and they're all going to have to come out on old tyres. So I guess he's just thinking that he can pin the ears back now. He's still got a couple of cars in front of him, so he's not got clear track. So, you know, I was thinking he might think that he can just pin the ears back. But we've got Whittaker and Allen in now from 2nd and 3rd on track. So most of the guys are coming in for their stops.
This is going to be interesting. What's Allen going to do to Whittaker here? Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a good second away and you're better under brakes than what the driver is in front of you, you can make up that time in the approach to the control. Look at this. Troy Allen gets the jump over Matt Whittaker. Troy Allen with the jump over Matt Whittaker in pit lane. You saw it live, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen. Troy Allen gets a very good jump over Matt. Now he's back on the attack. Try and make up that time and get back to where he was. Effectively, that'll put Troy Allen in second.
Turner's now
Kai
in.
Turner in as well.
John Gillies has completed his stop that lap as well. Comes back out in 12th spot, so he's up 2. Bain comes in from 4th spot. So yep, we're going to have to see how this plays out with him and Timmy Mulford. Mulford stayed out and is now in the lead of the race. So he's going to go... Typically, we usually see Timmy come in early, but he's going to go long on this particular strategy tonight.
That's a little bit unlike Tim Mulford. We usually like seeing him come in early and mix it up a little bit, but he wants to obviously try and put as much gap between him and Jonathan Bain as he possibly can right now. He's on the exit of pit lane. He's going to come out just behind Matt Whittaker. It's Tim Mulford, Alan Dawson, Stephen Banks, and Brian Cooper still yet to stop, along with Andrew Johnson and Craig Schultz. Sorry, Craig Schultz is actually not part of the race tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's our Chief Race Control Stewart, who's decided to pop up on screen all of a sudden. He was floating off screen for a little bit. Now he's on screen for some reason, so we apologise for the mix-up on that one. And look at this. Tim Mulford. He didn't stay out for long, but now he's in the pits. That leaves only 4 drivers. Tim Mulford in the box. 11-second stop. He's moving. Where's he going to come out to in relation to Troy Allen? Bain, Tim Mulford. Tim Mulford gets the jump. Tim Mulford got the jump over Jonathan Bain right there, ladies and gentlemen. 1.6 seconds is the difference. Matt Whittaker on the back of Troy Allen now. Brian Cooper. Kai Turner goes around him. So Kai Turner effectively your race leader, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Allen effectively your second place sitter at the moment. Brian Cooper still yet to pit. He's trying to run the long stint, but he's going to be bleeding time doing so. He may want that lighter fuel load on the older tyres. I don't know how that's going to work for him. Usually they go for the lighter fuel load on the newer tyres.
They don't take new tyres in the stock, Matty.
No, they do not.
Same age tyres at the moment, so he's trying to bank that his pace is going to allow him to overcut the cars that were in front of him prior to everyone pitting. So, you know, he's backing himself in. I think he just pretty much moved out of the way to let Kai through. You know, they're not running the same race, they're not running the same strategy, and it didn't make any sense for Brian to start battling there and give up time, because he'll be into the pit lane very shortly.
Look at this. Matt Whittaker on the back of Troy Allen right now. This battle is going to start heating up towards the end of the race. This is for second position effectively, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Whittaker not letting him go. Dean Reddit?
Yeah, it's about a second difference in the stop time, so they're not, you know, they haven't taken on the same amount of fuel. There's 1 second, it might nearly be the same amount of fuel, but I was just trying to figure out whether Troy's rolled the dice and maybe just left a few litres out of the field, and just to try and get that position and see what he can do. Because, you know, you can defend from the front, and you can probably do a little bit of fuel saving late in the race if you need to.
Brian Cooper in the pits finally.
And he has another look down into turn 1. And he's
runs it wide. Big moment! Big slide by Matt Whittaker, and that's going to ruin his chances over Troy Allen. He's got 14 to go. He's got 14 laps to catch up and make up a 3-second gap. He's still currently sitting on a podium, but he wants that second position. Into turn 1.
He's tried to feint him, trying to get him to move and go defensive, and he's just overcooked the entry just a little bit himself. Yep. He does well to hold on to it. It's pretty easy to spin it into the infield there. Try and get back on the gas too quick. But he hasn't dropped a spot, so he's just got to regroup. He's only 2.5 seconds behind Troy, so try and get back on the back of Troy.
Got a 2.5 second gap between him and Tim Mulford as well. But Jonathan Bain has caught back up to Timmy Mulford, so that's another battle starting to heat back up there. Then you've got Stephen Martin and John Gillies. They're battling out. John Gillies, he's inside the top 10 now. He's sitting in 10th. Then you've got Jason Schooler and Tony Gaffer. And Peter Kelly as well on the back of that little train there. And Brian Cooper and Stefan Lawrence, they're duking it out as well. So a couple little battle packs throughout the field for the minor places, ladies and gentlemen. But Alan Dawson, Stephen Banks, they've gone for the big stint. The long stint. They still haven't pitted.
Yeah, and the overcut didn't really work there for Brian. He's re-emerged back in 14th spot and still 4 seconds behind Peter Kelly in 13th. So not a whole lot. He could, I thought maybe it might have been all right, but it's not a whole lot. That's a whole lot of gain there out of the altering strategies. Highest holding now 6.5 second lead over Troy in second. So his pace has obviously been very, very good again. And John O'Bain and Tim Mulford are about to resume that battle that we were witnessing before the pit stop started. So Jono's looked very, very strong tonight. He's moving back up. He's made short work of that gap.
No, going back to that strategy there, Dean Reddit, it's not too much of a difference there. I mean, Brian Cooper obviously pitted lap 15. He was back down in the field. Kai Turner lap 12. He's currently effective leader of the race. Everybody else lap 11, lap 10. Tim Mulford lap 13. So the strategy, big moment there by Jonathan Bain. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. But Dean Reddit hasn't. Troy Allen off the track on my screen. Sorry to cut the conversation short there, ladies and gentlemen. But let's have a look at this. I just got a quick glimpse of an off track on the left screen, the left of my main screen here. Troy Allen has an off track excursion. Matt Whittaker goes past him by the looks of it. Oh, he's done the same. Ran it wide. And just tries to get it back on track, tries to wrestle it through the sand trap. And Matt Whittaker gets past. And now it's Troy Allen that's got to make up 2.6 seconds. But he's got Tim Mulford and Jonathan Bain for company now. They're all as close as they've ever been. This is for the final spot on the podium. Lap 19 and 29, 10 laps to go. And in true Super 2 E-Series form, ladies and gentlemen, the dying lap starts to heat right up.
You've got a possibility of having a first lockout with 3 MFR cars, possibly, if they can all get back up onto the back of Matty Whittaker. But, Matty's got back into second place. Crucially, Troy's sympathetically given it back. Alan Dawson's now pitted from the lead of the race. Stephen Banks has stayed out, so we're still going to have to wait another lap, probably not one more lap before we get our corrected order sorted out. Alan going really, really long there. Probably, when you make a call whether you're going to go that, you have to commit fully to the long stint, don't you? I think we've seen Brian come in at lap 15, 16. I think he sort of hedged his bets, but you've either got to go real early or real late. I feel this one. And Alan's re-emerged in 7th. So he's going to attack. He'll be right on the back of
Bain. Yeah, 2.4 seconds. Very precise, and only 2 down from where he started. So he hasn't lost out too much time. Look at this though. Look at this. Bain and Mulford.
Is there contact there? I think Mulford's gone off track.
Mulford has gone off track. That allows Bain and Dawson to get past. Let's have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Bain got past on Mulford. Oh. Straight into the wall for Timmy Mulford. That's big. Let's get another look at that. That's very, very close. Oh, no!
Who's that?
Jonathan Bain sloops it!
Oh, no.
Oh, no. All that hard work. And Jonathan Bain takes too much curb, gets on the gas too early, and loops it.
He'll be fuming with himself for that one. It's just such a minute mistake, and it's cost him a chance at the podium tonight. He'll be filthy.
Look who's up there behind Troy Allen now. Dean Reddit only 2.2 seconds behind. Rod Hollis.
The other smiling assassin out of all that action, John Gillies, is now up into 8, so he's picked up 6. So he's pulling his way in the second race.
He's happy. John Gillies will be smiling from ear to ear. Right now, he's made up vital points. Jonathan Bain will be kicking himself right now.
Oh, he'll be furious. But look, it's interesting again. It's starting to throw up all these sort of random scenarios late in the race again, Matty, as we've seen so often from these guys. So for a moment there, I thought that was Kai. I thought that was going to be a huge championship moment. But yeah, just Jono, after having such a strong race, just such an easy mistake to make. I've done it myself. I did it last night. I can sympathise with him. But yeah.
It's unfortunate right there. It's all gone. It just goes to show, Dean Reddit, how bad these tyres are right now. How much these drivers have to wrestle the cars around the track. Really just squeeze that throttle on ever so slightly. Stephen Banks finally into the pit lane to serve his pit stop. Lap 23 of 29. That is a very, very long stint for Stephen Banks.
That is a huge stint.
That's huge. Where's that going to put him out at the end of this stop? It should only be a couple second pit stop. 11.5 second pit stop. No way is that possible. It should have been much, much less than that. Banks, where's he going to pop out? Coming down. It's popped out in 4th position, 5th. Banks has popped out in 5th.
Yeah,
that's not too bad. Good result for Banks, up 2 from where he started, so that's sort of paid off for him a little bit.
That's a good result for him.
A very good result. But what would have happened with a shorter pit stop time though, Dean Reddit? That's the question. He's gone the same as everybody else, 11.5. That's in the window there of everybody else who's pitted there roughly, in the high 11s, low 12s.
The fact that he was able to get 23 laps out of the tank suggests
that's impressive.
Yeah, so he probably shouldn't have needed to take on all the amount. He probably did for safety measure, and yeah, he's come out in 5th. That's a really good result, and he's right on the back of Rod Hollis for 4th spot there too. So I would say overcut executed well, big tick.
Rod Hollis is challenging Troy Allen for the last step on the podium. He wants it. Lap 24 of 29, ladies and gentlemen. This is really starting to heat up now. Rod Hollis with a big moment at the start of the race. And now he finds himself knocking on the door for the final step of the podium. He runs it deep into 1. Allen goes defensive. He's right on the back bumper though. He can't have a run through here. He's just got to play it safe. He's got to watch the aero wash. He's got to try and stay as close as he can to have a crack into turn 9.
Yeah, they're going to be squeezing every last percentage out of these tyres now, and he doesn't.
Squirming.
Look at him squirming around, and Rod knows it's going to be a committed move if he's going to get it done. It's not going to be. He comes right up. We've seen Troy have a moment or two, and this is where we went. I was saying before the start of the race.
He's got the run. Troy Allen gets a little bit better drive though out of the final apex. What's this got? He's got the slipstream. Can he have a run down the hill? No, he can't. He's going to have a crack into turn 1. He has to get this perfect. Loses a car length out of the chicane. Rod Hollis not close enough. But 25 of 29 now. This is starting to heat up. Stephen Banks, Owen Dawson, they want to step on the podium as well.
Lap traffic about to become a factor as well. With Jeffrey Eddy just up in front, you can see on screen there. This is what I was talking about before. Cars that make mistakes early in the race, they're going to start seeing this tyre drop off come quicker later on. You can see Troy's just really not quite comfortable with the car.
Jeffrey Eddy gets out of the way.
And look at the gains now for Rod Hollis. He looks like, yeah, it's all there. He's there. He looks like he's got the drive out of these corners though. You can set him up.
Oh, can he get the drive here? He's run a little bit wider off the apex. He's closer than he was last lap round, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the slipstream. He's going to have a look. Troy Owen runs defensive. Then he moves back. He holds that car right in the centre. That's perfect. That's perfect defensive driving there by Troy Owen. That's textbook. Had no way around for Rod Hollis. And Rod Hollis just couldn't get the drive through the chicane, so around they go once more. Look at John Gillies in 7th position now. He's made up some good points.
He wants this group to start battling hard, doesn't he? He'll be right on the back of them in no time if they do. Here we go. We're gonna have to see some foxing going on here. Rod's looking. He's trying to get Troy there to take the defensive line. So far, so good.
Look at the amount of time he makes up through here, though, Dean Reddit.
Yeah, it
back 3 car lengths and just brings it back onto the rear bumper. Troy Allen's fires a shot.
There we go. He's gone defensive. That's what he wanted him to do. He set him up for the exit now.
He's got it. He's got it. He's right on the rack back bumper now. Troy Allen goes real defensive. Rod Hollis back to the outside. Alan Dawson wants in it. Stephen Banks wants in it. Rod Hollis can't get it done this time round. Stephen Banks is going to go attack him on Rod Hollis though.
Watch him in.
He's got to be careful. 2 more laps to go.
Ooh. Yep. That's what if you can get him to commit to that inside line or that defensive line, then they can't move back under braking. So you just want to get him out of position so that you can set him up on the corner exit. He nearly did it perfectly and nearly got the move done. The move that would have started in the last chicane, he nearly got it done into turn 1, which is what he's trying to effectively do there by getting Troy to go defensive into the last chicane. This is where he's really strong, but out of here, he's just
strong, isn't he?
Checked up on exit. There's a
Troy Allen runs wide. He clips the grass. Surely that allows Hollis now with the better drive.
He's checked him again, though. He's put his car back on track and he's recovered well from that. Banks is now all over the back of Hollis.
Hollis has to go defensive over Banks. That's going to allow Troy Allen a little bit of breathing room, but not enough. Lap 28 and 29, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's 2 more laps to go. I was one ahead of I jumped the gun just a little bit a lap earlier. But what can Rod Hollis do? He's attacking with everything he's got.
Yeah, those rear tyres have really given Troy nothing out of the corner exits. He just can't get the power down the same that Rod can, and Rod's just, he's a millimetre off that rear bumper. He's just got to find a way through. There's just nowhere to go.
Size him up here. He's got to size him up with the drive out of here.
Can he get the exit now and not get checked? He's just dropped back a little bit further to give himself the run down the straight, perhaps. It's now
this is going to work for him. Nah, he's too far back. Couldn't get the run this time round. Maybe he's burnt up that last little bit of tyre that he had left. Final lap. Kai Turner takes the white flag for the final lap. For race 2 of the Super Sprint, the last one for the season, ladies and gentlemen, and 2021. Rod Hollis up the inside into turn 1. Can he get it done? Troy Allen shuts the door on Rod Hollis. Kai Turner 10.3 seconds a lead over Matt Whittaker. And then a further 10.8 seconds back to this awesome battle pack right now for 3rd. The final step on the podium. And Rod Hollis wants it with everything that he's got. He's trying to go left, he's trying to go right. Troy Allen just checks him up everywhere. Troy Allen's got him. Troy Allen's gone wide. Rod Hollis the inside, Troy Allen, and next Banks and Allen make contact, and then that goes into AEST. That's big, big news. Dean Reddit, what have we just witnessed?
Well, we've got to go back. I think, there may have been a little bit of touch there early on, and Troy's just come across. I don't know whether he knew whether Steve Banks was there, and once that contact was made between he and Banks, he was just a passenger into that next corner, and unfortunately he's taken Rod with him. And now we've got John Gillies dropping down the table as well, Matty. So I don't know whether there's been a secondary incident, but look, big drama once again. But for this man on screen, Turner, it's business as usual at the front there, and he's just. Look, he's been in a class of his own once again tonight, and Matty Whittaker was with another strong performance and drove away from that battle for third. So big ups to Matty for a strong round tonight. But yeah, the fallout.
Very big up to Matt Whittaker right now. It's a third and a second for tonight. Kai Turner, another victor. Sorry, Dean Reddit.
It's all right. I was just going to finish it off by saying that we don't know what's going to happen with third. Well, obviously Alan will get it, but there's going to be some fallout from that last lap battle. Not what you want to see.
It could be, might be a post-race penalty handed down to Stephen Banks there. It's big news. Kai Turner doesn't even come in for a victory burnout, ladies and gentlemen. That just goes to show how much fuel he's got on board. And the 105 of Troy Allen making his way around into pit lane now after his cool-down lap. He rounds out top 5. Let's get some unofficial results up on screen for you, ladies and gentlemen, once we've got them, and try and dissect what in the world happened on that final lap. One of the best final laps that we've probably ever seen in the Super 2E series, Dean Reddit. And oh, gee whiz, that's giving me the headache. Kai Turner takes out the race win by a substantial margin of 10.3 seconds over Matt Whittaker with his best result of the season. Alan Dawson takes home third. Stephen Banks in fourth. Troy Allen in fifth. Tim Mulford in sixth. Stephen Martin in seventh. Jonathan Bain eighth. Tony Gaffer ninth. And Stefan Lawrence rounding out the top 10. And another 6 holders to 4 forwards there. Rod Holders, Peter Kelly, John Gillies comes home in 13th position. We don't know what happened to him. Jason Schooler, Brian Cooper, Tom Foster. Then we go back into the lapped cars. Jeff Eddy, Brain O'Loughlin, and Andrew Johnson. All those guys will get classified. They finished over the 75% race distance tonight. And Dean Reddit, wowee. What a whirlwind to try and dissect right there. That's just absolutely unbelievable right there. Clean racing, though, other than that. No safety car called for tonight, so that's a good thing by race control there. Only one incident that got handed out. Could be a couple post-race penalties coming a few drivers' ways, that's for sure, and that might affect them leading into Bathurst next week, as we've got Alan Dawson, Kai Turner, and Matt Whittaker standing by in the green room. We'll drag those guys in for the post-race interview, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get it. Unofficial results overall. Bring those up in a very moment's time, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just get those ready for you. Dean Reddit, your thoughts very, very quickly as we get those ready on tonight's amazing racing to start with.
It was a pretty good night out again tonight. We was mentioning pre-race, it was a bit of a banana peel, this one. On paper, it doesn't present a difficult challenge, but every time you got to try and get through 2 races in one night, it's quite easy for something to go wrong. So, especially for those guys that are fighting it out for the championship, you can see now it's complete darkness on track. There's no lights. There was a few different challenges thrown our guys' way tonight, but for Kai, he's got through it with flying colours. Done exactly what he needed to do to heading into Bathurst for next week. Some good results from Matty Whittaker. We just had all sorts of drama there on the last lap. So what else can you ask for?
That's exactly right. All right, let's get some unofficial championship points. Race results. Sorry, race points, race results, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies. I'm jumping the gun yet again. And while we do that, we'll get a replay of some daylight racing for you ready on the back burner as well. Kai Turner takes out the night with 151 points. Matt Whittaker promotes himself to second position after that second place win tonight. Alan Dawson finds himself in third. Troy Allen in fourth, Stephen Banks, Timmy Mulford, Rod Hollis, Jonathan Bain, Peter Kelly, Stefan Lawrence. And it's a tie for ninth position there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let those points scroll on through for you right now. And that's your unofficial round results right there. May as well start off with the round victor tonight, who had an absolutely flawless race and he's had almost a flawless season this year, Dean Reddit, as well. Kai Turner, big congratulations to you, mate, on another race win and another round win for you as well. Racing on into the night in the UK, nothing gets better than that.
Yeah, mate, it was tricky. Those two races, like you said, in one night takes a toll on you. But yeah, it's been a pretty consistent season. The goal was to, finish every race, try and start up the front and keep out of the trouble. Yeah, big thanks to all the guys that I race with week in, week out. They're getting quicker every week, so it's been great.
Mate, coming into the final night for the final time that we race on a Wednesday night. Obviously, there's been a lot of prep for Bathurst and a lot of talk about Bathurst, and it's got to be all roads after tonight's racing. All roads off this season have led to the 12th of December next week, and it all starts on Tuesday the 7th. What's it been for you, mate? Has it been much practice around Donnington for tonight's race, or has the main focus been at the big dance?
Yeah, I've just been trying to keep the usual routine going and just keeping it week by week. I did a couple laps last night just to take the edge off, because as everybody knows, it's Bathurst week. So, but yeah, now all the attention turns to Bathurst, and it's going to be a hard race. So everybody get ready.
It's going to be a big one, mate. Stick around. We'll get some more from you leading into next week. Might be a little bit of a longer post-race, ladies and gentlemen, because we've still got to dissect next week's racing and let you know the route or the format that we are going into. If you weren't tuning into the Super Series last night, there's Zach Caban and myself were able to dissect that one for you. Matt Whittaker, on to you, mate. Second position for race 2, third position for race 1. That grants you second for the round so far. And, mate, you've got to be pretty chuffed with that. The best performance you've had all season long, even though you've been knocking on the door for God knows how many weeks now.
Yeah, cheers, mate. It's been awesome. Just like Kai said, just week in, week out, just focusing on that same week, and tonight's paid off. Yeah, the guys that we're racing against are just awesome to follow and learn off, and yeah, Troy Allen put a lot of pressure on tonight. It's real good fun driving with him, and yeah, good result.
Mate, talk us through that pit stop, because Troy Allen was able to pip you by about a second at the end of that pit stop there by the time you guys got back up to running pace. What was the mindset from there, knowing that he had that illustrious second position over you, and that's all you wanted to get was that one position better from race 1?
Yeah, I dived into the pits and was hoping for him to stay out so I could try that sort of undercut there. But yeah, he followed me in, so maybe he got into the bay a bit quicker than me or something. But yeah, he just got out just in front of me. But yeah, just kept it smooth, and unfortunately he made a mistake for tonight. But yeah, just all worked out in my favour tonight, so I'm pretty chuffed.
Well, you're extremely lucky, because I believe you made a little bit of a mistake yourself on the Troy Allen as well. And
yeah, I did.
I think it was only a couple laps.
Yeah,
a couple laps later, he was able to bin it coming around, and a little bit of a bigger bin than what you had, and that gave you the illustrious second position that you were after. Tyres at that stage of the race for you, mate. Obviously next to none.
Yeah, I felt like I sort of drove a bit smoother on the second race, and I felt a bit better, to be honest. I was probably a bit excited in the first race, being up front, probably getting to the power a bit too quick and sliding a bit, heating them up. But yeah, the second race it actually felt a lot better.
Well, mate, stick around. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the formalities, but we'll come back with a few more questions and a couple sponsor thanks very, very shortly from you.
Cheers, mate.
And We just got the hurry along from the director, so we'll fly through this one, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try and dissect all of this as quick as possible for you. Alan Dawson, mate, welcome to the broadcast booth, and I believe it's been some time between drinks, mate, for us. Congratulations on third position.
Yeah, thanks, mate. That was a bit of a lucky one at the end there. Just been in the right place at the right time.
Mate, you were knocking on the door for that third position, hoping that Alan Hollis and Banks would at least come together at some point, and all of a sudden the heavens opened up for you coming down towards the back straight there.
Pretty much, yeah. Gifted it to me, so it was, yeah, quite lucky.
Mate, your tyres towards the end of the race, we saw the whole entire field. They were starting to squirm. You, on the other hand, didn't look too bad, just holding your own at the back and just trying to save a little bit of fuel by the looks of it.
I was just watching the group in front of me. I was waiting for someone to pounce and just waited for the right moment, and it worked in my favour.
Mate, it's worked in your favour because you've taken out third in the unofficial round results as well, so you've got to be pretty happy with that. I actually didn't see your results from race 1. Fill me in on those ones.
5th position in the first round.
There we go. 5th position for round 1. Race 1, not round 1. Race 1. Going back to round 1, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be a long, long way back. Mate, Donnington in the UK. We've gone away from the States final. We've gone over to the UK, the last stop before we head back down under. Donnington, a favourite track of yours?
To be honest, not really at all. To be honest.
Wouldn't go to show tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I didn't get too many laps in. Had a couple of busy weeks at work, so just lucky to get this one in.
And trying to fit in the Bathurst as well, mate. Look, continue on with that Bathurst talk very, very quickly. And we'll fire a question away from Matt Whittaker as well there. Between, obviously, practicing for Donnington and knowing that Bathurst is coming up next week, knowing that you're going to be teaming up with another driver, what was your mindset coming into this week, knowing that potentially you'll potentially have to go qualifying next week and maybe even get a top 10 shootout position? Oop, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. My microphone just had a bit of a fit, I think. Red, have you still got me on that on the other end, mate? Yeah, that's fine. That's my microphone might have had a little bit of a hissy fit, or my headphones didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, well, I think Alan, I think that one was directed at you. If we've still got you there, buddy.
Oh yeah, Alan.
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry, mate. You said matter.
That's all right. Yeah, it's directed at you. It's obviously leading the Donnington in the UK, knowing that you've got Bathurst and potentially a qualifying seat coming up. What was the thought process and the lead up to it?
Well, to be honest, I won't be qualifying because I'll be working that night, so that'll be up to my teammate Stefan.
Oh well, there we go. That answers all the question, Matt, mate. What's your plan of attack? What was your plan of attack coming into this week, and then knowing that next week you'll be the flying around Bathurst?
I just wanted to finish well this week to try to stay up on the championship points, and then all focus on Bathurst from here on in.
Well, it's going to be a massive week of motorsport, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try and get that up on your screen for you and let you know what's going to be happening, what's the ins and what's the outs, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what's happening as of Tuesday, the 7th of December, where we bring you qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, live from Bathurst as well. You can't get much better than that. And qualifying time will be the 7th of the 12th, 2021. That's Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you book that one in. That's 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, where we will have a 45-minute qualifying session for you. And to make it even more interesting and line it up with the real-world stuff, we'll put the in-sim date time. That's right. We can change the time in the sim world to suit whatever needs that we want. If we want to race 6 months in the past, we'll race 6 months in the past. So we're going to turn it back a week in sim time and bring you back to the 3rd of the 12th, 2021 to line you up exactly with the dates of the Bathurst 1000, which will be starting on Friday. The qualifying will start then anyway. And the sim time quali start will be 4:35 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Then we head to Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, the 11th of December for the top 10 shootout. The 10 lucky drivers that managed to qualify fastest on Tuesday night will duke it out for the best hour of motorsport around the mountain that you could possibly ask for. 11th of the 12th, 2021, 4:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Sorry, 4:45 Australian Eastern Daylight Time is the top 10 shootout. That's the time it will start. And then the in-sim date time will obviously, you go forward a day from Bathurst. That's the 4th of the 12th in sim world time. And then you bring it on Sunday, and boy, do we have a broadcast for you on Sundays, ladies and gentlemen. 8 hours we are predicting on Sunday for you to go across, and that will start all from 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time on the 12th of December. Obviously, in sim date time will be the 5th of December. But other than that, now that is all dissected for the big lead up to the 161 lap dance, Kai Turner lead us on championship points before we start getting into some sponsor thank yous from our podium sitters, ladies and gentlemen. And a few drivers, or one driver that we are very well familiar with at the top of the leaderboard right there. Kai Turner storms away with nearly a 40-point lead now over John Gillies. And look at that, ladies and gentlemen. 2 bad races for John Gillies, and that's what's going to happen. John Gillies in second position, Brian Cooper in third, Stephen Banks in fourth, Alan Dawson in 5th position, Tony Gaffer in 6th, Timmy Mulford 7th, Matt Whittaker in 8th, Stefan Lawrence and Jonathan will round out your top 10. Kai Turner, while we let these championship points cycle on through, mate, you know the normality by now, mate. Give us some sponsor thanks, and then we'll head over to Matt Whittaker and Alan Dawson.
Yeah, just a big congratulations to JP and everyone involved in running the series. It's been a good, enjoyable season, and as always, you guys in the comms, it makes it what it is. Mad at Designs, FU Suicide, MFR Racing, and WP Concreting. Thanks, guys.
Matt Whittaker, mate, let us away with some sponsors. Thank you.
Yeah, just thank Battery Warehouse in Airlie Beach. Just want to thank the Calamari Racing boys for helping us out throughout this series, and JP and Race Control for doing a great job each week.
And Alan Dawson, mate, finishes up with some sponsors.
A big thanks for Team Excelia Esports, Wartooth, Tint to Tint, HRS, and a big thanks to everyone that hosted this event. Did a fantastic job.
And ladies and gentlemen, we've obviously got our own sponsors that help us make what is the RSRA Super Series and the Super 2E Series. And the Super 2E Series couldn't be done without the DSL Welding services. Also, Goodyear Autocare Bathurst, Blue Stampede Labour Hire, Devon Stove Design, Dragon RC, and FU Suicide for men's mental health, Track Camps for Gourmet, SDK Gaming, and the most important one of them all, JP from SimShed Broadcasting. Without his expertise behind a computer screen and doing everything that you see on your screen, and obviously razzing up the sponsors, trying to get them on board, none of that would be possible without the SimShed Broadcasting crew there. It's 9:55, Dean Reddit. Any thoughts from you quickly before we do head off into the final week of what is now known as Bathurst?
Oh, look, we've got through this one, so we've still got we've got a 30-point separation now between first and second, so just in excess of 30. So look, it's a big one hand on the trophy moment there for Kai. Obviously a 1,000-kilometer race next week. Anything can happen, but that's a big step in the right direction from him. But we've got through this week. Felt very much from a driving point of view that you just had to get through this week at all costs, and really kick it off with I think what everyone's now looking forward to, or has been looking forward to, a great week and weekend at Bathurst next week. So bring it on.
Well, mate, I wish you the best of luck, Dean Reddit, for Bathurst. I'll bid goodbye to you on a Wednesday night here on, and we'll see you. I won't see you personally out on track, but I'll be watching you up here from the commentary booth on Tuesday, Saturday, and especially Sunday, and hopefully hear from you at some stage throughout Sunday if you do decide to pop up and talk to Zach Caven and myself. To the rest of the boys, Kai Turner, Matt Whittaker, and Alan Dawson, best of luck to you guys on your journey next week around Bathurst. We hope that it is a very, very clean one for you, and the Godspeed for that one, and all the best of luck for that. But for the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to round this up nice and early before 10 p.m. tonight and let you guys get out of here. Don't forget, Join Zach Caven and myself from 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time next Tuesday night to start the week of Bathurst that we are all going to love. Go Holden this weekend. It's going to be a big one this weekend and another big one next weekend. But for the meantime, my name is Matt Davis, joined me by Dean Reddit and the podium along with our director JP. We'll see you all next week from the mountain. Bye for now.